So, hello and welcome back to Building in Ghana whilst living abroad. My name is Alex, and welcome back to our channel. Now, a friend of mine recently asked me a very poignant question that I thought is so interesting that I will share it with you, all my subscribers, as you will be able to help me in helping him achieve his aim. Now, what was the question that he asked? Well, he said, or he asked, which of the two is better? Investing in Ghana or buying a place in the UK? Which of the two is a very sound investment? Well, before I give you my humble opinion, I would love to know yours too in the comments below. So please type down your views and your opinions, and let's see how we can best help him. Now, my friend has worked very hard his whole life. He's a little bit up in the years, around my age, 40 years. And he's worked very hard, and he has finally managed to gather together and save around 50,000. Now, because of his work situation, he's not able to get a lot of money from the mortgage company or from the bank. So he's able to only pull out about 100,000 from the bank if he wants to make a purchase or buy something. So this means that he is priced out from the market in the south of the UK, and he has to go up north. So in total, he will have about 150,000 to make this sound investment. Now, what we mean, as we said, investment is about building, not other investments, as he's very against other forms of investment, as he's worried that he's worked so hard to save this money and he doesn't want it to go to waste. So what should he do? With 150,000, what should he do? Should he invest in Ghana, build something in Ghana, or should he buy something in the UK? Well, in my humble opinion, I thought there are three things to consider. One is your age. If maybe one of us is in such a predicament, you have to consider that we have roughly, depending on your age, around, if you're 40 years old, average person's retirement age is around 67 in the UK. So you have around 27 years, which is a good time for an individual to get a mortgage from the bank. As long as your work situation is conducive and the mortgage company are happy to lend to you, you could get a good mortgage between 15 to 27 years. Now, on the other hand, if your age is above 50, then you have to bear in mind that you're going to be limited. Maybe not all mortgage companies will be interested in lending you money. So therefore, you have to look at other avenues. So that's one thing to bear in mind. In that instant, maybe pivoting to Ghana is something that you have to start thinking of and maybe making strategic moves. But in my friend's case, he's around 40, so he's got a good chance of paying it off. In fact, you don't have to stay in the mortgage for that long. After 5 years, you could sell the property if there is some equity in it. You sell it, pull it out, do whatever you want to do. So in that instance, it's quite a sound investment, something to think about. But if you are older and age is a factor, then maybe pivoting to Ghana is something that you can think of. Now, another thing to bear in mind is that we all love to, show our friends that we've got a good big house, we bought a decent investment, we did very well. But sometimes going too big could mean that we have less money in our pocket to pay our utility bills, for traveling, that is work to work, paying petrol, gas, electricity. We would have less money, and that means that we're going to have a lot of stress on our mind. Maybe you're having to pick up an extra job, extra shift, doing this, doing that in order to make the payment. And also at a certain age, doing a buy to let means that you have high interest, and therefore, again, even you can buy it, but to let comes with another extra burden. So it's something that a person might have to think of. And in some situation, buying smaller, on the other hand, means that you will have more money in your pocket. Your mortgage would not be too high, and therefore you can live within your means, cutting our suit to our size. So that is something that I thought that he has to bear in mind when he is going down this adventure. The same thing applies to Ghana. I was speaking to my builder, and he was saying how Ghanaians love to build big. And that is the running theme. I was looking around and seeing properties that they have, and some of them, even when they see my property, the workers that come over, they see my property and they're thinking, oh, who is this bugger coming from abroad and is building this small house? Why? What's wrong? Because the lifestyle or showing, keeping up with the Joneses is something that a lot of us are putting ourselves in, and unfortunately leaving us in a lurch, so to speak. So it's important to build small, buy small, and work with that, with what you have, so that you'll be able to finish it. And at least you will have something that belongs to you. You could use it as an Airbnb or whatever you want to do with it. So that is something that I thought he should bear in mind, these 3 points. Now, my wife and I did not just wake up one day and decided to build in Ghana. In fact, our origin began during the recession. We got married during that time, and we had worked very hard and saved some money. And also, gratefully, my wife's parents also lent us some money or gave us a gift. And so we gathered that together and bought a part to buy. No, sorry, we bought a part rent, part buy scheme back then. Now, part rent, part buy scheme is something I would advise no one to get into, as it has a big issue with it. But when we went for it, we were fortunate enough, because of certain things we did. In hindsight, the things that we did or how we went about going through meant that we were able to get out not badly hurt, but rather we doubled or even tripled our investment during that time. So it's a time specific, so please don't take it as it's a good thing to go into. But for us, it worked out well. So it got to a point whereby the longer you stay in a part rent, part buy scheme, the lower your years of owning it goes. So for example, you get 99 years lease, and over time it reduces, and when it comes to selling, you either have to buy extra years and sell it to the individual coming up, or you sell the years that you have, and that can have an impact on the amount of money that you can sell it for. So we were in there for about 7 years, and we thought it's time to sell. The problem was inflation had risen within that 7 years, that we were priced out of buying in the south, where we were in North London, Tottenham. We were priced out of that. And so we have to go up north with the money that we've made, the equity that we've made, to go up north to buy something more. But that means that we are going to lose our jobs. That means that we're going to have a bigger mortgage. And it means that we're going to be far away from our family and loved ones. In fact, my mom is in Ghana my mom is in the UK right now, and she's alone. So it had an impact on how things would play. But then, after a few times traveling back and forth to my wife's country in Cyprus, as she is Cypriot, and so we decided, why not look at the market in Cyprus? The reason why we pivoted to Cyprus is because my wife's family are here in Cyprus, and also the housing market here is very ripe and very good. In fact, you can build within a great budget. So we thought, let's look at that avenue. And when we came to Cyprus and checked it out, it meant that we could build and even have some money spare left over. So that is what we did. We decided to move to Cyprus. Now, give you some of the utility bill prices. For example, in the UK, council tax is over 1,200, 300. In Cyprus, council tax is already £145 per year. That is per year, not a month. Electricity bill, they don't use gas here, they use a lot of electricity. So electricity bill is roughly around 145 a month. Well, every 2 months, 145, but in the winter times, but in summer times, around 300. So it meant that the utility bills are cheaper. Food, on the other hand, is a little bit high, but in all, everything was within reasonable priced. And it meant that when you work, the money that you earn can go in your pocket and not to the bills. So you then have room to wiggle, to maneuver, to make pivot, to make lifestyle choices, to invest more if you can. And that is where my wife and I came to the conclusion. We realized that, yes, she didn't want a mortgage. And at the age of 40, we thought we don't want to have a mortgage as it will have a big impact in our lifestyle. And as we have a son and we want to make sure that we spend some time with him. So we went for a no mortgage concept. And that is when we decided to pivot and build in Ghana. At least if we build something small, you can have it as for ourselves and in fact share it with individuals as an Airbnb, as we are strategically placed in a very mountainous area that has beautiful views and colder climate. So we thought maybe you guys will enjoy it too. So let's go around building that style, simple, elegant kind of villa style effect, and then see how it can benefit us and you guys. So that's how we pivoted to Ghana. So we didn't just wake up one day and decided we are going to Ghana and we're going to build without putting certain things in place where we are. Once we had that thing settled where we are, then we made the pivot. And it's important for everyone also to maybe settle your affairs at home first and see where things are. Grateful to God that, He can help you, that you've managed something. All praise goes to Him. And then we go further. Okay, let's see what we can do. Not push yourself to the point whereby it creates a burden, it creates problems for you. No. Work within your means. Do something small, nothing ostentatious. You're not doing it to show off to others. In fact, I was talking to my builder and he was saying how Ghanaians love to build big. But that is not necessary. Something small can benefit us way better than having something big. Maintenance means that we're not going to spend too much money. It means that we are not having to worry. So that's a little advice that I'll give to my friend. If he wants to do it, it's important to bear in mind the factors and see where he can pivot himself and station himself. Now, if your age is a factor and you are getting on in years and maybe you want to retire in Ghana, then it's important to do something small there. In fact, if you can do a little business there, it's something that you can plan to do that and invest the money. My uncle, for example, is planning on something small there, and so he's building a particular area to have as a guest house in a hotel. So that is for him. That's the plan that he's put in place. But before he did this, he had put his affairs in place where he is in Switzerland. So it's something to bear in mind that we don't just jump without assessing our surroundings. Thank you very much for listening. Please let me know if my views are a little bit different to yours or you have a better understanding and therefore want to share with us. Please feel free to comment in the comment section and see how we can best help my friend. Thank you very much once again. Please like, share and subscribe for more videos to come.